It is Supernanny Saturday, and today we are watching the Sachs family. So let's grab our beverages and dive in.
I'm in New York, navigating the streets of Manhattan to get to a family that need my help. So let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Fancy Sachs.
And I'm Greg Sachs. We have 2 boys, and we live in New York City. Ryan is 5, and Jonathan is 3. I work in commercial and digital printing, 60 to 80 hours a week.
I work for a commercial real estate company, probably between 50 and 60 hours. We have a babysitter. She works Monday through Friday.
A little something new and fresh on today's episode because we are not in the middle of nowhere. We are in New York City. We have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. That's a lot of energy. And on top of that, both mom and dad have full-time jobs and there's a babysitter. So let's see how that works out.
I don't like it.
Ryan has a very, very big personality. When he is into something and we either have to take it away or tell him no, he gets very upset.
No! Let's go!
We'll have a meltdown in a minute.
No!
He'll physically try to kick me.
Understanding childhood development makes this much less surprising. If you didn't grow up with little brothers and sisters or cousins or even have families around that had children, neighbors, or have kids yourself, you might look at a situation like this and go, oh my gosh, is the child possessed? What's happening? Are they being exorcised? Because it is quite jarring, but it's completely developmentally normal and will happen no matter what you do, no matter how great you do it. If they are under the age of 5, this is just gonna happen.
Oh, this is ridiculous. This little boy has a meltdown because he can't get his own way, and the parents do everything but tell him off.
Jonathan will feed off of Ryan.
Did I hear that right? They do everything but tell them. Did Joe Frost just say they do everything but tell them off? Are we supposed to tell our children off? Oh, please tell me I heard that wrong. I'm not even gonna rewind it. We're just gonna float over that.
No, I don't want it.
One up the street.
What do you want, Ryan?
I want a hot dog.
Don't argue with him. Get him a hot dog.
I have to admit that I do indulge the boys. We're gonna go get little toys now. I buy toys for my boys maybe 3 times a week. I do have a lot of guilt working, leaving my children. The toys are bought out of guilt.
I just knew that G word was coming as soon as mom walked into the toy store. Guilt. Now we do know that mom works full-time and dad works full-time. So I'd imagine that the time they get to spend with their children is limited. There's only so many hours in a day, only so many days in a week. And so of course they want that time to be pleasurable. Who wouldn't? But they continue to save their children from negative feelings. And by doing that, they are doing a disservice to their children in the long run. Because you and I know that there are going to be times when we feel angry, when we feel mad, well, those are kind of the same, when we feel frustrated, when we feel anxious. And we have to sit and be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Ryan started to kick off.
All right, so I'll be home, okay, in a couple minutes. He won't even know that I'm
Ryan,
Why are you gonna go out?
Listen to me. Listen to me. Come here. Come here, Ryan. Come here. Ryan, come here for a second.
Instead of mum just leaving, she fed into this whole temper tantrum that he was having.
Ryan, come on. It's okay.
I gotta check the mail. I have to go up the street for a couple of minutes.
I want to go with you.
This is hard for any parent who is attuned to their child, watching them cry for you. I mean, most parents are going to struggle with this. She is making it so much harder on her child. Now, I'm not saying just get up and disappear. That is absolutely not the right thing to do. Any research you do on separation anxiety, you're not supposed to wait till they play and then just disappear, right? You're supposed to prepare them. But the best way to prepare them is during a time of non-conflict. Whenever I say non-conflict on this channel, what I mean is it's when your child's not flooded, not emotional. There's no talking to him right now. He's already lost his mind.
At one point, Ryan got hungry for a snack and he wanted waffles.
You know what? You had this for breakfast. So let's have, you could have apples or Cheerios or cheese or yogurt.
No.
Do you want a sandwich? I can make you turkey.
No.
I can make you turkey and cheese.
No.
You want to choose your yogurt? You could have the yogurt. No? Okay.
His mind was set. He wanted the waffles, and he wasn't prepared to take no for an answer.
This is exactly why gentle parenting gets a bad rap, because parents like this will walk around and go, yeah, I'm a gentle parent. I comfort my child when they're, hurting and they're struggling, and I rub their back. That's not gentle parenting.
I know. Okay, I know you like these. I know you're upset. I know you like these waffles. We have so many things. We have so many things to choose from. Let's just put this back. You want an ice pop? You can have an ice pop. You see something that you want?
No.
No? Okay. Do you want more mac and cheese?
No.
And then Ryan grabs the waffles right back out from the freezer.
Let's redo this scenario again. So your child goes into the kitchen and they pull out the waffles, and the first thing you're going to do is connect. This is the gentle part of gentle parenting. You go, oh my gosh, are you pulling out those waffles? Oh, I had those this morning, and I put some syrup on it, and I put some whipped cream, and then I put like a little bit of blueberries on top. It was so good. My mouth is actually watering just thinking about having those waffles again tomorrow morning. Now, we're not gonna have waffles right now. You can have a turkey sandwich, or if you want, we can go in the other room and play some blocks together. Which one do you want? Sometimes that is enough, because you've connected with your kid and they feel seen. They feel understood. Like, oh, mommy gets me. But let's say that it's not. Let's say your kid looks at you right in the eye and goes, no, I want it now. And then you like see the horns growing. In that moment, first thing you're going to do is take a deep breath. You're not going to be triggered. You're going to go, the kid's doing the kid's thing. This is what kids do. And you're going to hold the boundary of you're not going to talk to me that way. And this is how it's going to sound. I use 1, 2, 3 magic. So I would look at my child and go, that's 1. We do not talk that way. I hear that you want the waffles and we're not having the waffles right now. You can have a turkey sandwich, or we can go play in the other room. Which one would you like? So you're still saying the same thing, but you're saying it with a different tone, and you've counted. Then they continue, and then you go, that's 2. I see you're having trouble making this decision. If you can't decide, then I will decide for you. And then your child continues, and you go, that's 3. You go walk in the other room and you start playing with the blocks. And hopefully your child will realize when they're on the floor and they're not getting that attention, right? You're not enabling the behavior, but you're still there for them. You're like, hey, I'm over here playing the blocks if you want to join me. And then you just start playing with them. And if they're a young kid, they might just get up off the floor and come play with you. And you go, I'm so glad you joined me.
As we started to walk towards the toy store, I could see the meltdown coming.
Sure enough, as we passed a toy store, the boys wanted in.
I want to go to the toy store.
You want a pretzel?
No, I want to go to the toy store.
Oh yeah, you want a pretzel, Jonathan?
We're not going today.
I don't like it.
And predictably, Ryan had a meltdown.
Ryan?
If you are a parent, you know how unbelievably embarrassing it could be when you are in a public situation and your child is having a meltdown. In the beginning of this episode, we talked about when a child is having those big feelings, it's really important that we don't save them. But when we're doing that in public, you could feel really embarrassed because, quite honestly, people can be judgmental. They're staring at you and it feels like they're eating popcorn, like, ooh, how's mom gonna handle this? How's dad gonna handle that, right? So what I choose to do is have the meltdowns and the tantrums before we leave the house. So if I know that we're gonna be in a challenging situation, I'm gonna prepare the child. Like, listen, we're going into the city and I know that you love that toy store on the corner, right? What kind of toys have you gotten there? Oh yeah, that one, that one, that one. Oh, go show me that other one. Yes, okay, right? You're connecting with them. And today, excuse me, we are not going to go to that toy store. And then if the child has the meltdown, at least they're having it at home.
I don't.
Let's look at some other stores. It's heartbreaking to me to see my son crying like this. And then it's also embarrassing.
Let's get a pretzel.
No. We're not pacifying with food.
No.
Let's not pacify with food.
I love that Joe Frost just said, we're not going to pacify by giving them food or this or that. That's exactly what we were talking about, right? They're having negative feelings. We're not going to save them from those negative feelings. So let's say you did all the things. You prepared them and they're still having this meltdown. What do? If you're not pacifying them, do you just stand there quietly? Like, what am I supposed to do, Kristen? What I would do is if they're young, like 18 months is around when kids start having tantrums, I'd usually just pick up the kid, move to a quieter area, breathing with them, trying to teach them how to regulate their emotions is something just like mirror me. Maybe you can even have them, if they're not totally flooded, you might have them actually breathe with you. But if you see that they're not even doing that, don't, like, I've seen parents be like, breathe with me, stay calm. And you're like, whoa, you're making me anxious. But, and this is important, I don't think a lot of people talk about this. When your child gets to a certain developmental stage, where of course we're all gonna have big emotions, but we can't act like that, you might be working on that skill with them, meaning that you may start giving a consequence for acting like that. And that's when I do the 1, 2, 3 magic again, right? It's a stop behavior. That's one. We're not going to act like this. I can sit with you and be sad with you. We could talk about it, but we're not going into that store. If you continue to act this way, we're leaving. That's 2. I said we're not acting this way. That's 3. Then we leave.
So I thought what I'd do is just show these parents how to do it. Okay, that's enough. Right now, that is enough. Okay? No crying, no temper tantrum. Okay, no pulling those faces. And he looked at me and thought, this lady's having none of it. And I think as soon as these parents have realised they're not prepared to tolerate his nonsense, he gets that very quickly. Right, let's see some good boy behaviour. Any nonsense, and I'm putting you on timeout.
You hear that tone of voice. I'm not a huge fan on the whole good boy, good girl thing, but let's not get in the weeds. Let's talk about, though, what if you can't just leave? Like, Kristen, I'm not out like for fun. We're getting errands done and I can't just go, oh, if you don't behave, we're leaving and count. Okay, so can you be preventative in a different way? Can you set up your schedule so the boring thing happens and then something they want to do is right after? So maybe on your way you go, we're going to go to the grocery store. We're not going to get anything in the grocery store. We're not going in the toy aisle. And once we're done grocery shopping, we're going to stop by the park. All right, maybe that wouldn't work because you have the groceries. Drop off the groceries and then go to the park. And that at this age is a great logical consequence of we need to get these things done. If we can't get them done quickly, then we don't have time to go to the park. And then you get them engaged because you're being preventative. You haven't left. So you're like, okay, when we're at the grocery store, you're going to be in charge of finding the cucumbers and this and then that. And then they have their little list and you get through it. And then you get to go to the park.
You are going to go up to Ryan and very confidently say, Mummy's popping out for an hour. Feeling really good about it because we shouldn't feel guilty. All right, big squeeze, kiss, smile, smiles. Bye-bye, everybody. I'll see you when I get back. And you are going to walk, okay?
Okay. I'm going out for an hour and I'll be back. I'll see you later. I love you guys. In 1 hour. I said, I'll see you later. I kissed everyone goodbye and I was able to leave. I couldn't believe it.
I think they also didn't mind because they were doing an activity, which is another tip you can do. It won't be perfect, but let's say you have trouble where one of you in the home is the primary caregiver and the children cling to that primary caregiver and struggle to be left with the other one. Have some kind of special activity that happens with that caregiver that doesn't happen with you. So it's like this special daddy Play-Doh. Oh, it's only when daddy's around. Pair something they don't want to do with something they do want to do. We do that as adults. You see people with their treadmills when they watch TV. They go, well, I don't want to go on the treadmill, but I want to watch TV. So I guess I only watch TV when I'm on the treadmill. We're all struggling to do things that we don't want to do. So what do you think? Do you think the kids stayed calm because of the calm voice? Do you think it was because they were engaged in an activity, or both?
I want to get that. Can I get it?
Okay, so you know what I'm going to do with this? I'm going to write it down. You know what? Right now, we're not going to buy anything.
I know for my birthday.
Okay, I'm going to write it down. Because Greg and I are now more confident. The kids see it, and they know, uh-oh, I better not mess with these guys now. John, let's go, honey pie.
The difference between today and going to Times Square was day and night.
Now let's see where the family is now. This aired in 2009, and it doesn't look like there were any more kids after Ryan and Jonathan were born. Let's see anything. They always have like this little trivia section. The toy store Ryan had a tantrum at was the flagship Toys R Us in Times Square. Has anybody been to the Toys R Us in Times Square? Has anybody been to New York City? And oh, they went bankrupt in 2018. So much for that. The toy store that the family actually went into later in the episode during the take notes technique was the Disney store. And these were the only family, this and the McKinney family were the only ones to live in apartments. That's a little trivia. We have the pictures from the show, and I did click on these Instagrams and neither one of them opened. So I don't have any pictures of the family today. I hope they are all doing well. I wonder if they still live in New York. If you know anything about the family, let me know. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Sure. Bring it to me and I'll help you, because I need to zip it up so the ants don't get it. Because those things are hard to zip. Would you like 1, 2, or 3? 3. Oh my goodness. All right, 3. 1. You can't be in the video, sir. Here you go. And then let me hand you this bag. Can you put this back in the drawer, please? Thank you, sir.